G'day guys, Crazy back with another season preview. Today we're looking at the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards are coming off a season that can only be described as disappointing. Coming into the season they were expected to contend for the Eastern Conference title and perhaps even go to the NBA Finals. Instead what resulted was a 43-39 season for coach Scott Brooks. And that only got them 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, where they were skittled in the first round by the Toronto Raptors, losing in 6 games. Expectations were high going into the season with their dynamic backcourt of John Wall and Brad Beal. For half the season, one of them was missing. John Wall only played 41 games, and whilst he still put up his usual good numbers, 19 points, 9.5 assists, Brad Beal took over this team, 22.5 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and he was there for all 82 games and he appeared to be the leader of the team. There were definitely chemistry issues in John Wall's absence. Marcin Gortat famously said that he thought the team played a little bit better when John wasn't there, and John did not respond to that well at all. He called Marcin a lot of very, very nasty names. And at season end, they got rid of Marcin. Do not say anything negative about John Wall or you will be traded. At season's end, the Wizards have addressed this situation, replacing Gortat at centre, who was critical of John Wall, and they've replaced him with Dwight Howard. That should fix all of their chemistry issues, because Dwight Howard has been very popular on the last 4 teams he's been on. He was very popular in Charlotte. They did whatever they could to get rid of him. The Hawks, likewise, they moved heaven and earth to get rid of Big Dwight. Dwight was very popular in his first season in Houston, helping them get to the conference finals, but his relationship was so bad towards the end, barely anyone spoke to him, and they packed him off as well, and that was after his disastrous stint in Los Angeles with Kobe. The fall from grace for Dwight is one of the strangest stories that I can recall in NBA. Heading back to 2008, you'll see him here in the dunk contest doing some incredible stuff. Still one of my favourite dunk contest dunks of all time, this. His career's just spiralled. He's continued to put up great numbers, but I can't think of a player whose popularity has waned more than Dwight. He was the face of the NBA, and I thought he was going to be destined to be one of the biggest megastars of his generation, and unfortunately for whatever reason, he just hasn't clicked with a team. Are the Wizards the team that he finally clicks with? So you would think Dwight might be one of the more unpopular players to join the Wizards this off-season, but no, they managed to acquire Austin Rivers. This is another irritant of a man, and he has also come into conflict with teammates and opponents alike. Austin plays the game hard and definitely has a bit of a mouth to him and does a bit of trash talking. He even had Chris Paul and the lads from the Rockets trying to find him in the locker rooms after a game, after he was taunting Chris Paul. So this Wizards team, it's got everything really. We've got John Wall, Brad Beal can be a bit of a hothead as well. He even punched Draymond, which was very unkind. You've got Dwight Howard and you've got Austin Rivers. This could be one hell of a fun season, folks. The rest of the roster is made up of Otto Porter Jr., who surprisingly is actually the highest paid player on this team going into this season at a whopping $26 million. Bradley Beal second at 25 and John Wall's at 19 million. In today's NBA, Beal and Wall, that's pretty good value. What's not good value is Ian Mahinmi at 15.9 million. Basically, he did very little in Indiana to justify this money. That is a staggering contract for a backup centre who provides very little of anything. His money handcuffs this roster a little bit, and they could end up losing a player just based on his horrible contract. And roster spots could be up for grabs on this team. They still have Markieff Morris on this team, who was very solid for them last year. Kelly Oubre Jr. had a slightly disappointing season, only shooting the ball about 40% last year, and they probably expected a little bit more of him after the playoff series he had the year before, where he looked like he could really take over. But he's still only 22 years of age, and there's still high hopes that he could become a star for this team, and he is very smooth. I like Kelly a lot. So what happens with the Wizards in 2018-19? I think chemistry could be a real problem for this team. Is there a battle to see who the alpha dog is between Beal and Wall? Who do they decide is the man and the face of the franchise going forward? Does Dwight Howard help ruin another locker room and become a distraction? Does Austin Rivers prove to be an irritant and cause problems? There's so many attitudes and egos on this team, anything could happen. They all might get along bloody well. They might win 60 games and be the cream of the East. Or they could implode and be a 500 team. They could be buyers or sellers at the deadline. So I think they win 48 games, maybe finish 4th or 5th in the East. And if they get it all together, they might be a very scary first round opponent for anybody. They could do anything. I think they're a damn tough team to judge. What do you guys think? What do you think happens with this year's Wizards? Feel free to chuck it in the comments. If you liked that video, please give that one a thumbs up, maybe even think about subscribing. If there's a team or a player you would like to see reviewed, feel free to pop that one in the comments and I'll do my best. Thank you very much for watching.